right! You stupid proud bastards! That's right! Say hello to Ford and General Motors! You stupid fascist pigs! Look at you! You have horses!
The collapse of the Third Reich, a scene on the Autobahn in 1945 in the final weeks of the war in Europe. A surreal procession unfolded along the Autobahn leading toward Berlin. Columns of approximately 100,000 German prisoners marched westward in defeat. Passing in the opposite direction, the seemingly endless flow of American paratroopers, trucks, jeeps, and tanks advancing eastward. Among the captives were senior German generals, their faces etched with disbelief, as they witnessed the unbroken stream of Allied mechanized power. Stripped of their own vehicles, most of the Wehrmacht's armor and transport having been destroyed in the preceding campaigns, these officers were reduced to traveling by horse-drawn carts and buggies, a humiliating emblem of a once mighty war machine that had lost the initiative it had seized so dramatically years before. The contrast could scarcely have been more profound. These men, who had orchestrated the conquest of much of Europe, now struggled to comprehend the reality confronting them. What they observed was not merely the end of a battle, but the accumulation of a brutal total war of attrition that had consumed millions of lives and vast quantities of material on all sides. Germany had prepared for this conflict throughout the 1930s, channeling immense resources into rearmament. Its early victories seemed to vindicate the strategy, the annexation of Austria, the Sudetenland, and the rapid campaigns that subdued Poland, Denmark, Norway, the Low Countries, and eventually France between 1938 and 1940. The fall of France took only 6 weeks in 1940. It produced an almost intoxicating confidence. Senior generals hailed Hitler as the greatest military commander of all time. Riding this wave of success, the German leadership was convinced that its qualitative edge and operational brilliance could overcome any foe. This hubris proved fatal when Hitler turned eastward, underestimating the Soviet Union's resilience, partly based on the Red Army's initial poor performance against Finland in the Winter War. He launched Operation Barbarossa on June 22, 1941. It was the largest land invasion in the history of humankind. 1,500-mile front line manned by 2.6 million German troops, supported by 11,000 tanks, 9,000 aircraft. What followed was a war of annihilation. Operation Barbarossa and Blau and the grinding campaigns that ensued cost Germany millions of soldiers. By the end of the war, some 7 million German troops had perished, and the Wehrmacht's once formidable mechanized forces had been largely obliterated. Yet, fast forward on that day on the Autobahn in 1945, the captured generals beheld something they had never truly anticipated: the overwhelming material supremacy of the United States. American forces moved with their relentless momentum toward Berlin, their columns stretching as far as the eye could see. The Germans had assumed the Americans, like themselves, must have suffered catastrophic losses that would cripple their advance. They failed to grasp the geographical and industrial realities that insulated and empowered the opponent. United States factories lay thousands of miles across the Atlantic, beyond the reach of the Luftwaffe. In an unprecedented national mobilization, thousands of American manufacturers had converted their production lines to war material. What had taken Germany a decade to build up to, the United States replicated and surpassed in just a few weeks. The statistics were staggering. American aircraft production alone reached roughly 60,000 planes in 1942, 125,000 in 1943. During the same period, U.S. factories turned out some 120,000 tanks alone and other armed vehicles, more than 647,000 four-wheel drive Jeeps, and nearly 1 million military trucks rolled off the assembly lines in 1945. This was not merely replacement production, it was dominance on a scale that rendered the German war economy obsolete. As the American columns thundered past, the captured generals could only stare in stunned silence. Their expressions, their dropped jaws, and their bewildered eyes asked the question their ruined armies could no longer answer. How? How was the United States able to do this? Well, they got an unexpected answer. From a nearby truck came the voice of Private David Webster of Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division. His words were raw and unfiltered, and they cut through the tension like a verdict.
Guck mal, es hat da gerade ein Flugzeug abgeschossen. Oh ja! Cool, guck mal. Guck mal, das ist irgendwo ein Soldat. Da kommt noch ein Panzer. Irgendwie kleiner.
Schaut euch das doch nur mal an.
Hey, you! That's right! You stupid proud bastards! That's right! Say hello to Ford and General Motors! You stupid fascist pigs! Look at you! You have horses! What were you thinking?
In that moment, the distance between the two nations' wartime experiences and the industrial chasm that decided the outcome could not have been clearer. The age of the German blitzkrieg had ended, overtaken by the overwhelming productive power of the American arsenal of democracy. I'm Kevin Dyer, and this is A Day in a History Moment. If you like this video, please click on like and subscribe.